Alrighty guys, we've got Bitcoin sitting at 58,500. Happy Monday to you all. We actually got some decent weekly closes. So you can see over here, we actually finished with the doji candle, which is actually quite neutral. Okay, so the main thing was obviously we had the big devastating week of going from Bitcoin from the mid 60s all the way down to 49,000. And then we ended up hovering now halfway, which is sitting in the region of around the 59,000. And it was important to see that was this candle going to continue within last week, or were we going to actually put in either a neutral candle or a bullish candle to the upside? And now what you have is you've got the stochastic RSI entering the investment entries yet again. So I know I've been saying on a couple of tiles, last chance to buy. As an investor, these are your last areas to be loading up. And I think that's the very important thing to understand is we, again, if we hold certain levels, we could end up having a very strong week this week to the upside. So I'm going to speak about two major scenarios in the show. The one is the danger line, possibly another retest to the downside, how we're going to catch that. Right now, the market's just going sideways. It's ranging between a 3-4% going up and down. So any short-term trades, take some quick profits. But nonetheless, we're going to break one of these lines probably within this week, if not in the next couple of days. And that's going to start to give us direction. If we go bullish, we can absorb all the damage that was done over the last 2-3 weeks can be absorbed within this week. If we decide to go bearish, we can go test the bearish lows, and then it's important to see what the dominance is going to do to see if altcoins are going to put in higher lows or newer lows. And I'll say this again, last chance to be fishing in these zones until it is gone, and I'll continue to say it to remind you all the time that you are in a critical zone. So happy Monday to you all. I got Seth in the house. We're going to bring in you guys some pivots. We've got new weekly pivots that have been printed, so let's see what happens over there. No more wasting time. Let's get into the show. Where's my intro? Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like Sniper. Welcome to Sheldon Show.
Alrighty guys, happy Monday to you all. Remember to smash the like button and remember to subscribe if you are brand new to the channel. I'll remind you guys again, you got about 24 to 48 hours left to join Sniper School. Otherwise, this cohort is officially closed and you're going to have to wait another month to get into the next one. Remember, all you got to do, it is free for you guys. Go below in the description. You will find out over here. I want to remind you again. So you go here to the description. Let's open it up. Over here to the description, and then what you do is you just look for the Sniper School link in the description. Here we go. You go down below and you'll see join Sniper School today. You click on this over here. Then what it's going to do, it's going to take you into a page where you got to open up an exchange account. Okay, there's 3 basic steps to get into school. Open up exchange account, prove that it's yours, and then you get verified and you get into the actual classes. But the main thing is you're either going to use a BitGet or you're going to use a Bybit, or there's a couple exchanges that you could be using, but you get them once you're in there. So shout out to Bybit. Remember, by using that link, you also fall part of the Cybertruck giveaway, which is fantastic. We're giving away that within the Bybit giveaway. And remember, $30,000 deposit bonuses when it comes to BitGet. So you can choose which one you like very much. But that's how you join up with Sniper School. Okay, a couple of things, guys. Let's start off the week over here. So we're still sitting in the fear areas, which is good. So we're hovering in the fear now. So usually we've been dipping our toes into the fear and we've been exiting pretty quickly. Now we're kind of hovering here. And I'll remind you guys again, if you go here below to these charts about the fear and greed, okay, you can kind of see that we are at levels when Bitcoin and the altcoin market's been at insane prices, right? We're at these levels now where Bitcoin's, close to 60,000. Before that, you were in areas of around where Bitcoin was below 30,000 and then in the 20,000s. And every time we have been at these fear periods, especially if we've gone sideways, have always been the best bottoms, the best bottom zones and the best areas to be loaded up, the best areas to be paying attention where no one's paying attention, and ultimately those who actually make money. And again, anytime you see fear and greed above the 80 to 90, it's always going to be a good time to take some profit. So again, keep crypto simple for yourself. Don't confuse yourself. Use simple tools, and this is a very powerful tool that's there as well. I want to show you guys as well, there's still a lot of liquidations to the upside. I was looking at the week, the 3-day, and the 24 hours, and it looks like price wants to go up. The question is there a shakeout? We'll go through that in a second. But nonetheless, I'm still saying it's last chances in these bottom phases, as I do see on a weekly higher time frame, the market start to make its way to the upside. So for me, I think we're going to go capture a lot of this liquidity. If we get through the 61,000, there is a squeeze to the next zone. And you can see as you build your way up, I actually want to have a look at the monthly and see if there's any high time frame, super high high time frame. There we go. You could see that there's billions of dollars at $70,000. So if they start passing these levels, you got the short squeezes that will go to the liquidity. You're not seeing much at the bottom, meaning that the drops that have been happening has completely wiped out majority of the longs, or especially the fish and the shrimps within the markets. And it kind of feels that the market is ready to go to the upside. Do not get trapped, and do not, I know it's annoying in that sense of, last chance, these sort of things. But you guys have to understand that you have to stay interested in this phase. You have to. Now, will it happen right now? Will it happen in 3 days? Will it happen in 2 hours? It can happen at any damn moment. And I want you guys to be prepared for it. So there's one or two things I want to show you guys on the high time frame. Doji candle, which is pretty good. So what you have now is you have the support of 56,000. That's a support. And you have the top, which is the area of 62,000. Whichever one we break properly is the next direction we're going. If we break 62,000, we are going back to the highs of 70K, okay? And that would be the temporary bottom that was in. And it just shows you again, when a devastating event happens, that they're actually the best times to be buying. Even though these black swan events, they bring a lot of fear very quickly, they've actually always been the best opportunities, when these things happen. And to be honest, sometimes you need the dump in order to get the pump. You need liquidity, you need interest within the market. And maybe there was not enough interest over here. Therefore, there was interest for big buyers when price actually went back down to the lower 50,000s. Now, another interesting thing as well is we obviously have the stochastic RSI re-entering. And I want to explain to you guys that if we hold 58,000 on the weekly close this week, you're going to get a cross in these lines over here. And what that means again is this is investment opportunities. Whenever we are below 20%, it's investment opportunities. It means anything that you are finding in the areas that are below the 80% are in good areas to dollar cost for the next rally to the upside. Okay, and it's always been a good area to actually take on a little bit of risk, to buy some altcoins, to buy a little bit of possibly one or two smaller cap coins. As long as you are splitting your money correctly and using your risk management properly, this has always been a great area of where to load up. And me personally, I've loaded up some more of whatever I can on a couple of new altcoins and adding more to the bags in these areas for the long term. As much as I love the trading is amazing. The trading, you need a trending market though. It's pretty hard when the markets are sideways. But I do know how powerful making money on your long term actually is. It's true wealth. Leverage is temporary wealth, so is margin. But when it comes to the actual long term and your higher time part of portfolio, that's your true wealth. Now, I don't care if one of your coins have done a 50x, has your whole portfolio done a 50x? That's where your bigger portfolio is your true wealth, and the way you actually rate yourself within the space. So this is a place where I've been loading up. Now, there's one or two interesting things. You could see a lower low on the chart over here and a higher low on the actual RSI. This is indicating hidden bullish divergence. Now, we've seen this before, and I want to show you guys this for a second. We have seen this in a few areas. The main one that we saw, it was actually all the way back in these zones over here, which was 2019, which was actually before the crazy rally, right? Before the things happened. But what we saw after that was Bitcoin went from 7,000 all the way to 10,000. So we saw a really good 30-40% move from Bitcoin. Previously, when we saw the sign, what was the sign? The sign was the RSI before that was already oversold. It then popped out, very similar to what we've just done now. And then it came back in and it put in a higher low here. You see this higher low over here, yet on the chart, we went lower. Okay, and what that does as well is that's that hidden divergence, right? That hidden bullish divergence. But when it comes to stochastic RSI, and when this happened over here, we actually saw Bitcoin again after that seemed bearish, seemed that it was going to go back down, but what ended up happening was a 40% pump to the upside. So that's very interesting. And if you take this over here, you can see it again, that this is where we're seeing the same thing happen now. We are seeing a higher low, meaning if we hold this area over here, this will cross next week. And what you'll have is a higher low here, and you'll have a lower low, giving us that divergence. And we do have one area before where we didn't put in the lower low over here, but the higher low, and that was bullish too. That was Bitcoin actually went from 16,000 all the way to 30,000. That was a 100% pump. So the last two times we've seen RSI do something similar to this have actually been very bullish for the market. And again, if we hold any of these areas, what does the divergence mean? That we should actually pump pretty quickly. We should catch up very fast. Okay, so now let's get back into our normal short-term analysis. I spoke about this. We dropped this within last week. We came in again on Friday. We popped back in here, and we've been holding this good level. So it looks like a very strong support on Bitcoin at the moment is this 57,000. Even these possible lows here, 56 to 57 is a good support. We're not looking that we're going to go to 54 just yet. However, we start obviously losing this yellow line over here. We start losing 57. Then we have indications. And then basically what you have is you've got two scenarios here. You got if we start to lose these trends over here, Let's just draw out these lines. We start to lose that. Then we're looking at this area for a very strong bounce. Okay. Or what happens is we trend sideways, and the moment we actually start closing above this trend, we will start the short squeezes. So as long as you're above here, I'm still staying very much short-term bullish to the upside. Zooming in, I see we're forming a nice little flag here. So if you catch that little breakout, you'll see a nice little push to the upside over here. The big zones to break out, guys, is the areas of that 60 to 61. And then what's interesting is it hits that liquidity gap. And then above that, we have more liquidity over here, which has the 200, the 50 daily moving average. Everything is sitting at 63. We get through that, we're probably back at 70 very quickly. So at the moment, things are pretty same of where they've been, but still remaining bullish. Okay, still remaining bullish at the moment for as long as we're holding these periods. And what's nice about this is we are actually still holding a very good Fibonacci level as well, indicating that we should start to rally up. And I was looking here, we do have the 4-hour stock sitting at the bottom. So if we look at this, the 4-hour stock's kind of ready for a little bit of bullish momentum to the upside. So we could actually have a nice little strong green day today. Then I want to show you guys a few other things. The total 3 actually broke out. So altcoins are actually looking stronger than what you think. So they actually broke out of the trend. They've retested, and we should actually start a altcoin rally. So altcoins look like they're actually a little bit more bullish than Bitcoin at the moment. And if Bitcoin starts to rally, I think we're going to start to have the altcoins move. So again, this for me is a load up zone for some altcoins. The 3 trades that I'm looking at taking myself, the one is 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗏 protocol. It's right in a buy zone now. My risk is low. And I'm prepping this one for a $4.8 target. That's my trade. So if I look at my risk, that is my risk. And if I look at my reward, that is my reward. Therefore, that is a good trade to be taking. And this is where I'm putting my stop loss at 3.8. So 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗏 protocol is one of the trades. The next one I'm looking at is 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗏. There's 2 ways I'm trading this. I'm not going all in on this original entry, but I've entered some in this green box over here. I've put a stop loss around the 20.4, so not too much of risk over here. But then what I'm doing is I'm only entering 50% of my position. Okay, so just in case it does get stopped. And the rest I'm buying on the break of this trend. So I'm dipping my toes over here. The stop must actually be slightly lower, around 2.10. Below this trend line over here, and this is the major zone where I want to load up. And once it breaks this trend, this is the one that I want to be adding more to my position. And again, I'm preparing this for around a $32 target. So I'm looking at all the way back up to the top of the ranges. I think the market's going to start to squeeze at some points. We are looking at something here. If I show you this pattern over here, it looks like something like a upside down bar. You know, especially if we go down one side, we go here and we break to the upside, you know, we tend to have a very strong push. One thing you must be aware of though, and I'll actually clear up this chart over here for a second, is sometimes they do a Batman, and what a Batman is a left ear. They come here, they send a right ear, and then they go. So as long as we are ready for the break of the top of that range, that's the squeeze that I'm looking at. And as fast as we came down is as quick as we're going to go up to the other side over there. So 𝗷𝗚𝗡 is the next one. Then I want to show you guys Phantom. Phantom is one I'm also preparing for. So Phantom is in a buy zone, and the risk isn't too bad. So I want to show you this over here. You could see that Phantom's in this little uptrend at the moment. It's been doing pretty good. It's in support again, which has actually been a good buy zone over the last while. Popping a stop loss under these lows. So my 36.5 0.365 is my stop loss zone. However, if it starts to lose this trend, you can actually start to close the position a little bit more. But there's a way of actually also looking to buy some in the box here and buying the rest on the breakout. And I'm looking at Phantom. I'm looking at my targets. This one's higher. This one's around 70 cents. So this is a bigger trade. See, I'm losing some signal. Let's see, there we go, I'm back. So this is actually a bit of a bigger trade. I have a short-term target of 46 if you're happy with short-term gains, but I'm looking for the bigger swing. I'm very bullish on Phantom, a lot happening on Phantom at the moment. So super interested over there. Looking at a couple things as well. Bitcoin dominance is actually on the verge of maybe breaking trend. So if the markets go bull today, we might actually have dominance collapse, which is pretty good. So things like Ether, BTC will probably start to go up. You could see this has been breaking trend. Things like ETH itself are still holding the 382s. As long as we hold 382s, we're still seeing the squeeze up there. Otherwise, again, there's a shakeout to 618. However, it's not bearish, guys. It's still bullish for me over here. Okay, that's the short-term trades that I'm looking for, the weekly trades that I'm looking for. Seth the man, what are you seeing, my brother? I would love to see what the The easy algo thing. Remember, guys, easy algo custom indicator that does a lot for you. Buy, sell, stop loss, take profits. Where do I put everything? It puts it on the chart for you. You can find it below in the description if you want to join it. There's a 3-day free trial. Seth, what's happening, bro? What are you seeing?
What's up, brother?
Good,
Cool,
good.
cool,
What's
cool.
up?
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Cool. Let me open the charts and give you guys a view of what I'm seeing.
Cool.
Let's see if you can see. Can you see my chart?
That's it. Yes, we
Good.
can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Sweet. Okay, cool. Let me first jump into ScannerX. ScannerX is our system that basically just scans the market and it uses price action principles. So it's just monitoring levels and telling you where price is in relationship to these levels. And you can see we've got a monthly, we've got a weekly over there. And these are the most important levels that I always look at because they kind of give you an idea of what is happening in the market. Is it bullish? Is it bearish? What is actually happening? So you can see the monthly is 5%, which is showing only 95% of tokens are actually, only 5% of tokens are above the monthly pivot, which is showing the long term is still pretty bearish in terms of the price action pivot grids. And then the weekly opened up this morning with 28% only above the weekly. So the open of the weekly has started very weak in terms of, the bears are more in control right now and the bulls, let's see if they're going to catch up. So 28% are only above the weekly pivots. The 72% is underneath. So right now, we got to see what's going to happen today and tomorrow. Is the market going to recover these weekly pivots or are they going to stay underneath? If they are unable to recover the pivots by, let's say, tomorrow or the next day, then chances are we've got a bearish week ahead of us. If they are able to get on top of the weekly pivots, then chances are we're going to have more of a bullish week. But let's have a look at Bitcoin and see what's happening with these other tokens right now. So you can see Bitcoin over here. Bitcoin has opened up underneath the weekly pivots. But also notice this, that this week we've got a super narrow pivots. Last week we had a wide pivot and you can see we got a ranging week. Whenever we get wide pivots, price ranges. Whenever we get narrow pivots, chances of it going into a trending phase is much higher. So this week we got very tight pivots. And this could lead me to believe that possibility we could be a big move could be incoming because that's usually what it symbolizes, that price is going into a squeeze. It gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and then you end up with these tight pivots. So right now, because price has opened up underneath the weekly pivots this week, we're either going to look at two scenarios. Price can either recover and reclaim this weekly pivot. If it's able to break above this level and reclaim it, chances are we are going to go much, much higher. Up to at least up to the resistance point of the monthly. You can see this is the monthly pivot over here. And this is, we need to break this 62 level for us to go into more of a long-term bullish environment. But right now for our midterm, we want to see Bitcoin recover this weekly pivot. If it recovers this weekly pivot, we're going to be good for looking for longs on our other tokens. If it finds resistance here and it bounces down, chances are we're going to go down in the market. So these are the two things that I'm critically paying attention to see what actually happens between these two. And then you can see with the dominance, we've got the dominance, which is underneath the weekly as well. In a perfect world, what I'd want to see is I'd want to see price hit and reject this weekly pivot on the dominance. And then on Bitcoin, I'd want to see price break above and then find support on the top. If Bitcoin can find support on top of the weekly pivot, and we see this rejection of the dominance, we could get a nice move from the altcoins as well. And if we look at the total 3, this looks very interesting to me. The total 3 has got a super tight pivot. If you guys look, last week we had this very wide pivot. And now this week we've got it. It's extremely tight. So we could see a nice big move from the alts. Usually when we get these narrow pivots like this, yeah, it's letting us know something is happening. So I'm definitely thinking something is brewing in the background, and we could get a nice move from here onwards, and we'll definitely monitor that. So that's the general overlook. What I wanted to do, brother, I wanted to review. Remember, I gave those setups last Monday. I just wanted to show everyone the results of those. They all turned out very, very well. So the first one I gave was Pixel, and this was the level I said if it breaks above this level, you look for an entry, and it broke above that level. Remember, guys, when we've got these narrow pivots, we often get these nice big moves. So price broke above this level, and it hit our take profit, which is about 12%, which was the top of the range.
Very nice.
So that was a super successful one. And then Tier as well did fantastic. Broke above this level, and this was the level I said if it broke above this level, would look for an entry. And it shot up, hit our take profit level, which was 17%. Fantastic. And then SNX as well did the same thing, broke the level, and it shot up, hit our take profit. You see, these two blue lines are the top of the range, and this is the first area we look to take profits off of these narrow pivots, and these are usually the highest likely place it can reach. So we got those three did well, and then A8 was one of them that didn't do as well. This was the area I said enter on the grid, on this zone, and it only did about an 8%, and then found rejection and kind of dropped. So we still got very good reaction off these narrow pivots. And for the ones I'm looking at now, if you guys want two trades that I've got my eye on at the moment, is Super USDT. It's got a very narrow pivot. So I'm waiting for it to break on top of this pivot grid. If it breaks on top of this pivot grid, because also I'm also looking at the total 3, and the total 3 is looking fantastic. So if it breaks on top of this grid, this is where I'm going to look for an entry. You can see it's super narrow. I mean, look at last week's. Last week's was super wide. Now it's extremely narrow. So when we get that massive shift from wide to narrow, it's almost as if there's something building up. So super is one I'm looking at. And then we've got Jasmy USDT, another one. And it's actually getting into the zone right now. It's breaking on top of the pivot. So I'd wait for it to find a little bit of support on top of the pivot, and that could be an excellent place to look for an entry.
Fantastic. Appreciate it, my brother.
Thank you, brother.
Have a good weekend. Fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
Let's see how the weeks go. Let's see. I'm hoping that total 3 looks amazing. So I'm hoping that starts to catch up this week, and we got to get to go from there. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much.
Good, brother.
Much
All
love.
the best.
Cool, brother. Ciao, ciao. Okay, guys, I want to remind you again, I said on last show that I'll be giving away to a couple of comments. Remember, comment below after the video, guys. You want easy algo, you want sniper club, you want, and not many did. Many were saying, you're saying last chance, last chance. We shall talk. We shall talk. Wait till the fat green candle comes. You'll say, thank you, Sheldon. Thank you. Thank you for being bullish. Thank you for when everyone else wants to help you sell your bags. Again, guys, you want to be spinach hands, go sell today and move on. Never comes crypto again. Your choice. You want to stay through here, you fight where no one's fighting. I'm here and I'm bullish. Why? Because 90% of the planet is not. Okay, because we're at that show. You could see the finger. You can see many, many, many different signs. So again, those who did say in the chat, I would love club, Steph, no problem. You get club, no problem at all. We have another person over here, Carlos. Please can I have easy algo? Yes, you get a month of easy algo because you're staying dedicated. Fantastic. We had someone else. Who else was here? Daniel, easy algo be awesome. Fantastic. You will get easy algo as well. Let's see. Daniel, I'll also give you sniper club, bro. One of each, bro. One of each. Brian, one easy algo for you over there. So guys, again, once you are done watching the show, comment below if you want easy algo, sniper club, or if you want the bit funded as well. Remember, bit funded, you can use it's prop trading. It's this over here. I want to show you guys. Let's see. Let's just see where it is. There we go. There we go. Okay. There's the bit funded over there. As you can see, I'm still just rolling on my first level at the moment over here. But what you have here, guys, is you're able to put in a very small amount of money. And if you get through 2 challenges, you can trade with a large amount. This helps when it goes against you and you lose money. You only lose a very small amount. And when you win, you end up playing with a lot more money than what you got. And you end up keeping 90% of it. So if you want Bitfunded, it's below in the description. Okay, guys, have a fantastic day. Much love to you all. Remember to like up the video. And let's wait for today. Right now, it's day by day. We've got to suffer through. It's your choice again. If you're going to be super buried, like, just leave crypto. Cool. If you're going to fight and understand that this is a game that you have to stick through and you got to keep pushing, stay strong, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Much love.